I never imagined a simple Christmas ornament could tear my family apart in a single evening. As I entered my mother's warm suburban house that frigid Christmas Eve, the acrid smell of burning and echoes of arguments struck me immediately. It wasn't exactly the festive welcome I'd anticipated. Outside, snow blanketed the porch, holiday lights sparkled on the roofline, and from the curb, everything appeared idyllic. But inside, complete, unbridled mayhem. I hadn't even removed my boots when I heard my former spouse, Sarah's voice, cutting through the air. She was in the kitchen, her words razor sharp. "You monopolizing the oven again, Riley? We need to cook the ham, not your precious cookies." My sister Riley responded instantly with venom. "Right, Sarah, because without Ethan's supervision, you probably set cereal on fire." I stood motionless, still clutching my coat, knowing this was merely the beginning. The real explosion was imminent. Before I could intervene, a loud crash resonated from the living room. My girls, Chloe and Mia, were squabbling again. "Hand over that speaker, Mia." "You're destroying the music," Chloe demanded. Peering around the corner, I witnessed Mia wrestling the Bluetooth speaker away, her arm accidentally knocking water onto the Christmas tree. The lights flickered before going dim. A crackling sound emerged from the socket. My stomach dropped. Was that smoke I smelled? I rushed toward them, but I wasn't quick enough. That's when Mom burst in from the garage, laden with grocery bags. She let them fall with a heavy thump, her expression horrified. "Ethan, what on earth is going on?" I step out for 10 minutes to get eggnog, and my house has turned into a battlefield. Her voice quivered, but anger wasn't the only emotion present. Something more profound lurked beneath. I noticed fear flash across her face as she detected the smell. The kitchen. Dear Lord, the kitchen. I trailed behind her, my heart pounding. The odor hit me first, harsh and heavy, like scorched sugar mixed with disappointment. Smoke billowed from the oven, where what might have been dinner rolls had transformed into black lumps. Sarah stood there, arms crossed, scowling at Riley, who was frantically waving a towel in surrender. "I warned you to keep an eye on it," Sarah snarled. Riley retorted, "I already told you I was handling the cookies. Stop acting like you run this place." Mom pushed between them, throwing open the oven door. Small flames leaped up, eager and dangerous. I grabbed a kitchen towel, quickly extinguishing them before they could spread, but the destruction was already evident. Then came the piercing scream. Lucas, my 7-year-old son, burst through the hallway, clutching something metallic in his trembling hands. "It shattered," he sobbed uncontrollably. "It's completely shattered." I knelt beside him, gently uncurling his tiny fingers. There, split perfectly down the middle, lay a delicate silver Christmas bell. My heart sank to my stomach. This wasn't just any ornament. It was Dad's cherished bell, the one he'd faithfully hung on our tree every Christmas before his passing. The one Mom believed held our family's spirit intact. How had it broken? Who was responsible? I looked up to meet Mom's eyes. The color drained from her face, and I feared she might collapse. Before I could voice my concerns, Chloe interrupted sharply. "Don't look at me. Everyone knows Mia's the uncoordinated one." Mia retaliated instantly. "You're lying. You shoved me right into the table." Sarah whirled around, her finger pointed accusingly at me. "This is on you, Ethan. You never disciplined these children." Riley jumped in defensively. "Back off, Sarah. You're the one who can't move past anything." The room descended into chaos, voices clashing, blame flying everywhere. I stood frozen, the fractured bell heavy in my palm, feeling overwhelmed by the mounting tension. Suddenly, absolute quiet. Mom's hands came together in one thunderous clap. "That's enough," she commanded. Her voice emerged as a threatening whisper. "Family meeting. Right now." She stormed toward the living room, leaving us all exchanging uncertain glances. I examined the bell once more. Something about the break pattern seemed intentional, calculated even. What had transpired during my absence? What secrets lay behind Mom's knowing look? Before we continue this suspense-filled narrative, let me take a moment. Where are you tuning in from? Share your location in the comments below. I'm genuinely curious. If you're hooked on this story, don't forget to subscribe. Believe me, you won't regret staying for what's coming. This bell incident? It's merely the beginning. I followed Mom into the living room, still gripping the broken bell, its sharp edge pressing into my flesh. The atmosphere was suffocating, thick with the lingering smell of charred pastries and unspoken tensions. Mom positioned herself by the fireplace, her posture rigid, firelight casting eerie shadows across her features. "Everyone sit," she ordered, her tone controlled but harboring an unfamiliar undertone. Sarah dropped onto the sofa, arms folded, while Riley perched tensely on the armrest. Chloe and Mia sprawled on the carpet, exchanging hostile looks, and little Lucas lingered near me, his eyes still wet with tears. I sat last, the fractured bell's weight pulling me downward. "I need answers," Mom began, her gaze sweeping across the room like a spotlight searching for suspects. "This chaos goes beyond a smoking oven and shattered window. Something more sinister is brewing here." Her words hung heavy in the air, sharp as icicles, met silence. I fidgeted with the broken bell, its pieces clinking softly. Was she referring to Dad's treasure keepsake? Or something far worse? Sarah shattered the stillness, her voice laced with acid. "Stop being so melodramatic, Carol. If Ethan had simply set the timer as I instructed, we wouldn't be inhaling smoke right now." My chest constricted painfully. "Seriously?" I shot back, leaning forward. "You were the one hovering over that oven, Sarah." I was busy preventing the girls from torching the tree. Her eyes blazed as she thrust an accusatory finger at me. "Don't you dare blame this on me. Since the divorce, you've been mentally absent, Ethan, leaving me to manage everything alone." Riley interjected before I could defend myself. "Manage everything?" she sneered, arms crossed. "You mean dictate everyone's lives like some self-appointed ruler?" Sarah's head snapped toward her. "Keep quiet, Riley. You forfeited your family status when you abandoned us for that pretentious urban studio." Riley's expression darkened as she rose, hands balled into fists. "I abandoned you? You're the one who transformed every celebration into a war zone after forcing Ethan out." The room erupted into chaos, voices colliding like thunder. I attempted to restore order. "Both of you, stop this," I yelled, but my words dissolved into the mayhem. Then came the shattering sound. I spun to witness Chloe hurling a porcelain reindeer across the room. It exploded against the wall, its antlers scattering like shards of memories. "You psychopath!" Mia screamed, lunging at her sister. "That belonged to me." Chloe pushed back violently. "Well, you destroyed my speaker, so we're equal now." Lucas tugged my sleeve, whimpering. "Daddy, please make them stop," he pleaded, voice quivering. I embraced him protectively, heart racing, but before I could intervene, Mom's voice thundered above the pandemonium. "Enough, all of you." She stepped forward, trembling with rage. "I step away for 20 minutes to get groceries and return to this? My new home, my sanctuary, and you're destroying it like wild animals." Her eyes locked with mine, and I caught that glimpse again, that deeper emotion. Was it terror? Sorrow? I couldn't decipher it. I rose to my feet, extending the bell toward her. "Mom, what's really going on here?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. "This bell belonged to Dad. How did it end up broken? Who damaged it?" She remained motionless, her mouth opening, but producing no sound. Sarah let out a derisive laugh, her eyes rolling skyward. "Perfect. Now we're attributing this disaster to a dead man's trinket. Maybe if you'd focused on your children instead of playing the victim, Ethan, we wouldn't be in this situation." Her words cut deep, more than I care to show. I turned to face her, clutching the bell tighter. "You think I'm not doing my best? I've been desperately holding this family together since you walked away, Sarah." Her smirk wavered slightly, revealing a moment of uncertainty. Riley stepped forward, positioning herself between us, speaking quietly. "Back down, Sarah. You're not the only one suffering here." Mom raised her hand to silence us. "Stop," she said, her tone gentler now, almost beseeching. "Look at yourselves, quarreling over kitchen timers and broken decorations while our home crumbles. Can't you see what this is doing to us?" I surveyed the room. The destroyed reindeer, kitchen soot staining the walls, the crooked Christmas tree with its half-dead lights. Then something caught my eye. A wooden box on the mantelpiece, unseen for years. Another of Dad's possessions, bearing his carved initials. The top was slightly open, catching the firelight. What lay inside? Why was it there now? Before I could ask, Chloe's shriek interrupted. She grabbed Mia's phone and hurled it toward the sofa, narrowly missing. Mia lunged at her, both tumbling to the ground in a flurry of angry limbs. Mom stumbled backward, gripping the mantel for stability. I rushed to her side, dropping the bell. It rolled across the floor with an ominous ring. "Mom, are you all right?" I asked, but her gaze remained fixed on the box, eyes wide with something like fear. "Ethan," she whispered, "there's something you all need to know. But not like this. Not now." She straightened, her expression hardening. "We're going to clean this mess first. Then, we'll talk. No arguments." I nodded, though questions raced through my mind. What secrets did that box hold? What was Mom hiding? The cracked bell lay silent, but I sensed it wasn't merely a decoration. It was trying to tell us something. The living room resembled a war zone after a temporary truce, heavy with tension, as Mom's words continued to reverberate in my thoughts. "There's something I need to tell you." I stooped to retrieve the fractured bell, its weak chimes seeming to mock the heavy silence, while Sarah gathered the shattered ceramic reindeer pieces and Riley worked on cleaning the soot-stained walls. Chloe and Mia sat brooding at opposite ends of the sofa, arms firmly crossed, while Lucas gripped my leg, his tiny hand shaking. My eyes drifted back to the wooden box perched on the mantel, its lid partially open, almost teasing me. What secrets was Mom concealing? Just as I prepared to question her, a gentle knock echoed from the front door. I set the bell down on the coffee table, frowning. Who would visit during this chaotic moment? Crossing the room, my boots crushing scattered pine needles underfoot, I opened the door to find Leah, my girlfriend of 6 months, wrapped in a crimson scarf and holding a container of homemade gingerbread cookies. Her cheerful expression dimmed as she registered my face. "Hi, Ethan," she greeted, her tone warm yet hesitant. "I wanted to surprise you. Merry Christmas?" My insides churned. I hadn't mentioned Leah's visit to Sarah, knowing it would likely ignite another conflict. Now it was too late. Before I could warn her, Sarah's voice cut through the air behind me. "Who's that?" I turned to see her standing there, broom in hand, her gaze hardening as she spotted Leah. "Oh, wonderful," she scoffed, dropping the broom with a loud clang. "You invited your precious girlfriend to intrude on our family Christmas?" Leah recoiled slightly. "I'm not intruding," she responded quietly. "I just brought cookies." "Cookies?" Sarah's laugh was sharp and bitter. "You think some homemade treats will fix this mess?" I positioned myself between them, feeling my heart rate accelerate. "Sarah, enough. She baked these herself. She's trying to help." Sarah's expression twisted as she folded her arms. "Help? Like she helped you move on so quickly after destroying our marriage?" Leah's cheeks reddened, but she remained silent, clutching the tin more tightly. Riley emerged from the kitchen, amusement dancing in her eyes. "Well, isn't this interesting?" she remarked, leaning against the doorframe. "Sarah's jealous of the cookie-bearing girlfriend? Classic." Sarah spun toward her. "Stay out of this, Riley. Nobody asked for your input." The tension in the room mounted palpably. Mom appeared behind Riley, her expression both stern and inquisitive. "Ethan, who is this?" she questioned, her voice carrying a mix of sharpness and curiosity. I rubbed my neck nervously, feeling heat rise to my face. "This is Leah, Mom. My girlfriend. I asked her to come by." Mom's expression shifted from surprise to momentary softness before hardening again. "Some advance notice would have been appreciated," she muttered. But before she could continue, Chloe's voice cut through from the couch. "Seriously, Dad? She looks barely out of college." "Leah's 32. I corrected, frustration evident in my voice, but Chloe merely rolled her eyes. At that moment, Lucas shuffled over, clutching a misshapen, hand-painted ornament. "Can I put this on the tree?" he asked timidly. Chloe snatched it from his hands with a sneer. "No way, it's hideous. It'll ruin everything." Lucas's bottom lip trembled, and I knelt beside him. "Hey, buddy, it's beautiful," I reassured him, retrieving the ornament from Chloe. But as I moved toward the tree, Mia jumped up to block my path. "Dad, please don't." We agreed on a gold theme. I felt my chest constrict as I looked at them. "This is your brother's ornament," I said quietly but firmly. "It means something." Mia shrugged dismissively. "Being meaningful doesn't make it pretty." Lucas burst into tears, and I wrapped him in my arms, shooting a disappointed look at the girls. "When did you become so heartless?" A sudden crash from the kitchen drew everyone's attention. I whirled around to see Riley stumbling backward from the counter. Coffee splattered across the floor. Mom rushed in, horrified. "My carpet," she exclaimed. "That's imported Turkish wool." Riley winced. "Sorry, Carol. I was trying to avoid Sarah's death glare." Sarah stormed in after her. "Don't blame your clumsiness on me, you klutz." The room erupted into chaos once again, and I felt Leah's gentle touch on my arm. "Ethan, perhaps I should leave," she whispered uncertainly. "No, please stay," I said, my voice carrying over the din. Everyone fell silent, turning to face me. Taking a deep breath, I glanced at the mysterious box on the mantel. "Mom, you promised we'd talk. Let's do it now." She hesitated, looking between Leah and me. "All right," she replied tersely, "but clean up that coffee first. And you," she gestured to Leah, "secure those cookies somewhere safe. We don't need another disaster." I guided Leah toward the dining room, but as we passed the fireplace, something caught my eye. The box's lid had shifted further, revealing a metallic glint inside, something narrow and pointed. A key? Or perhaps a blade? My skin crawled. What revelation was Mom preparing to share? And why did Leah's presence feel like a spark near a powder keg? Leah placed the cookies down, her gaze meeting mine. "Are you holding up?" she asked, her voice gentle and reassuring. I managed a weak smile. "Not quite," I admitted, "but you might want to stay. Things are about to get more complicated." She gave a slight nod, and I cast a glance toward the living room. Sarah was speaking in hushed tones to Chloe, her expression grim. Riley observed Mom intently, concern etched on her features. And there sat that box, imposing and weighted with secrets, like a ticking time bomb. Whatever Mom was about to reveal, I sensed it would alter everything. I just couldn't fathom the magnitude. The dining room was thick with tension as Leah arranged her cookies on the table, her eyes darting between me and the commotion in the next room. Sarah's whispers to Chloe still carried from the living room, while Riley attacked the coffee stain with determination, and Mom's footsteps echoed near the fireplace. That wooden box on the mantel haunted my thoughts, its partially opened lid catching the light like a challenge. I glimpsed something metallic within, and somehow I knew it connected to the broken bell, to the truth Mom was withholding. My stomach twisted. This had evolved beyond a ruined Christmas. It felt more permanent, more consequential. I moved toward the living room, Leah following close behind, when Mia's voice shattered the atmosphere. She'd grabbed Chloe's new wireless earbuds from the couch and was holding them precariously over the dog's water dish near the back door. "Try touching my phone again, and these take a swim," she threatened. Chloe charged forward, knocking a lamp over in a rush. The sound startled everyone, and Mom whirled around, her cheeks flushed. "Enough," she bellowed, her voice sharp as winter frost. "Everyone sit down now, or I'll lock you all out in the blizzard." Her words had the desired effect. Sarah pulled Chloe down onto the couch beside her. Mia tossed the earbuds onto a cushion and slumped down, wearing a satisfied smirk. Riley emerged from the kitchen, still clutching the rag, and settled into a chair, glancing my way. Lucas huddled next to me on the floor, gripping my knee, while Leah lingered uncertainly by the dining room entrance. I stood beside Mom, my pulse racing. "Now," I said, keeping my voice level despite my trembling hands. "Tell us." Mom inhaled deeply, her fingers grazing the box perched on the mantel. She lifted it with delicate care, as if handling precious crystal, and placed it on the coffee table beside the damaged bell. "I've been trying to tell you something all evening," she began, her voice carrying a weight of exhaustion and raw emotion. "But you've all been too caught up in your arguments to hear me." She paused, her gaze finding mine with unsettling intensity. "Ethan, this concerns you." My throat constricted painfully. "Me?" I whispered, barely audible. She confirmed with a nod, her hands quivering as she opened the box completely. Inside lay a tarnished silver key, its surface marked with years of wear, resting atop a letter sealed with wax. "I've held on to this since your father passed," she revealed. "He left it for you, Ethan, with specific instructions. Instructions I've resisted following until now." Her voice cracked as tears welled in her eyes. "Your illness is worse than you've admitted, isn't it?" The atmosphere grew heavy, suffocating. Every eye in the room bore into me, their gazes searing. I hadn't disclosed my condition, hadn't intended to, especially not tonight. But somehow, Mom had discovered the truth. "Ow!" I choked out, my legs unsteady. I collapsed onto the couch's arm, feeling Lucas's grip tighten on my hand. She gestured toward the letter. He predicted this, she explained. Said you'd conceal it, just like he did. I found your medical reports in your coat pocket last week. Stage 4 pancreatic cancer. The doctors give you months, possibly less. Leah released an involuntary gasp, covering her mouth. Sarah's face blanched, her earlier smugness vanishing. Chloe and Mia stared in shocked silence, their previous quarrel forgotten. Riley leaned forward anxiously. Is this real, Ethan? I nodded slowly, feeling the crushing weight of acknowledgement. Yes, I confirmed. I wanted to keep it quiet. Didn't want it overshadowing Christmas. Mom continued, her voice unsteady. Your father made additional arrangements. An insurance policy. $8 million, divided among you all after Ethan's passing. She extended the letter toward me, but he insisted I share. This message first. I accepted it numbly, breaking the wax seal. His distinctive, though shaky, handwriting greeted me. Ethan, it began. Don't let wealth corrupt them. Show them what we cherished when we had nothing. Remember that Christmas during the blackout, just us sharing bread by candlelight. That's what truly matters. I raised my eyes, my vision growing hazy. I remember, I managed, my voice thick with emotion. That winter, when the blizzard struck, we huddled together playing cards in the darkness, laughing until our stomachs ached. No presents, no warmth, just our family. Sarah shifted uncomfortably, her gaze falling to her hands. Chloe's voice came soft, puzzled. I don't understand. How is that better than what we have now? I turned to face her, pushing through the heaviness in my chest. Because we weren't arguing over expensive gadgets or kitchen appliances. We were truly present, connected as a family. Mom's hand found mine, tears streaming down her face. Please, Ethan, don't speak as if you're already gone, she begged. I squeezed her hand gently, but knew I had to continue. I have to, Mom, I replied. I've been avoiding this reality, but it's here now. My eyes moved across the room, taking in Sarah, the children, Riley, and Leah. This inheritance will be yours eventually. But if you let it destroy your relationships, it's meaningless. I lifted the key from the box. This opens a safety deposit box downtown. Dad's final gift. Though I'm uncertain of its contents, I know what he'd want. Our family's unity, not this discord. Sarah broke her silence, her voice barely audible. You should have told me, Ethan. I shook my head slowly. Would it have made any difference? Her lack of response spoke volumes. Riley stood abruptly, moving to the window, turning her back to us. $8 million, she said bitterly. And you're concerned we'll waste it on ourselves. She spun around, her expression hardened. What if we already have? Before I could answer, a sharp creak pierced the silence. The front door, left partially open from Leah's entrance, swung wide, allowing a blast of winter air to rush in. Papers scattered from the coffee table, and the bell tumbled to the floor with a hollow ring. Lucas lunged for it, but I caught his arm. Hold on, I warned, noticing movement outside. A figure darted past the porch, purposeful and swift, disappearing into the falling snow. A chill ran down my spine. Someone was watching us. Mom clutched the box, gasping. Ethan, what was that? Though uncertain, my mind whirled with possibilities. The key, the letter, Dad's warning, and now this. Something felt wrong. I rose, still holding the letter, my voice resolute. Riley, lock the door, I commanded. This isn't over. Not even close. The wind howled through the open door, scattering Dad's letter across the floor as Riley rushed to slam it shut. I remained motionless, the silver key cold against my palm, that mysterious shadow outside, still etched in my thoughts. Who could be lurking out there? What were their intentions? Lucas gripped my leg tightly, his breathing uneven, while Mom held the empty box, her complexion ashen. Ethan, she whispered, her voice quivering. Did that really happen? I nodded grimly. All too real, I responded. But before I could make sense of it, Sarah rose to her feet, her gaze fixed on the window. Must be someone from the neighborhood, she suggested, though her words carried little certainty. Leah moved closer, gently touching my arm. Should we contact someone? She asked, maintaining composure despite the palpable tension. I shook my head. Not yet. Let's hear what Mom has to say first. Riley secured the door with an audible click, her eyes carefully surveying the room. Whatever this is, she declared, We won't be safe until we understand what's happening. And Mia huddled together on the sofa. Their earlier confidence vanished, and I felt the weight of their anxiety pressing down on me. I had to maintain our unity regardless of my condition. Mom collapsed into an armchair, still clutching the box. "All right," she said, her voice flat but determined. "Want to hear the rest? I'm selling this house." The words struck like a physical blow, leaving me stunned. "Selling it," I repeated. "The house you fought so hard to keep after Dad's passing?" She nodded, her fingers tracing the box's edges. "It's overwhelming, Ethan. Too spacious, too vacant. I bought it hoping you'd visit more often, bring life to it. But in 8 months, this is the first time you've stayed beyond dinner. I'm here alone, like a phantom in these halls." Sarah's brow furrowed as she crossed her arms. "Where will you go?" she inquired, her tone gentler than before. Mom looked up, her gaze distant. "Oregon," she replied. "There's a small condo near the coast, assisted living facility. Peaceful, uncomplicated. I can't manage this place anymore." Riley scoffed, though pain tinged her reaction. "Assisted living? You're not that old, Carol." Mom offered a weak smile. "Perhaps not, but I'm exhausted. Tired of waiting for everyone to show they care." I knelt beside her, the key pressing into my hand. "Mom, this isn't necessary," I pleaded. "We can do better. Visit more frequently." She shook her head. "Can you really? Look at tonight. I've only asked for one peaceful Christmas, and instead we have shattered glass and mysterious figures prowling around my porch." My heart constricted. Her words rang true, and I despised that fact.